I know most of us have tried lavender oil for sleep at some point in our lives. Probably, you put some on your pillow, lay there for an hour, but were still wide awake. Then you thought that it was not working. However, did you ever think that maybe you've been using fake lavender? I'm not even joking. Researchers tested 51 bottles of lavender oil, all labeled as the real thing, and only half were actually genuine. The rest were cheap substitutes, synthetic fillers, or some combination of both. Another study found up to 90% of lavender oil on the market is adulterated somehow. So when people tell me lavender doesn't work, my first question is always, what brand are you using? Because real lavender costs 6 to 7 times more than the cheap stuff that they cut it with. The incentive to fake it is massive, and you genuinely cannot tell by smelling it. Anyway, let's say you have the real stuff. Most people get it wrong by assuming lavender is a sedative, and that it's going to knock them out like a pill. However, what it actually does is create a sleep trigger. The molecules bind to receptors in your nose and send signals to your brain's emotional center. It physically calms your brain waves, but the real magic happens through conditioning. When you use it consistently before bed, your brain learns to associate that scent with sleep. Someone put it perfectly when they said lavender became their sleep trigger because they smell it on their pillow every night. It's like you're training your brain. So if you've been using it once every couple of weeks when you remember, that's probably why nothing's happening. Now, when it comes to its use, I've seen people make some mistakes. For instance, when drawing a bath, please do not add lavender oil directly to your bathwater. Oil and water don't mix, so it just floats on the surface and concentrates in spots. So then you're basically sitting in undiluted essential oil. A person said their legs were burning, and it's because of this. To do it right, you need to mix the oil with Epsom salts first, or whole milk, or even liquid soap, something the oil can bind to. Then add that to warm water. I don't think you can really relax in water that's cooking you. For your pillow, don't put oil directly on the fabric because it stains. Instead, make a spray by adding 10 to 15 drops of lavender, 4 ounces of distilled water, and a splash of witch hazel into a dark glass bottle. Shake before you use it. Mist your pillow a few times before bed. When it comes to diffusing, don't run it all night. 30 to 60 minutes is enough. Continuous exposure builds tolerance, and the oil stops working as well. If you've been running yours for 8 hours straight, wondering why it doesn't hit the same anymore, that's why. If you're applying lavender on your skin, always dilute it. 2 or 3 drops per teaspoon of carrier oil, like jojoba, coconut, almond, whatever you have. Then apply to wrists, temples, and the back of the neck. Some people do the soles of their feet because the pores are larger there. When you're buying, look for lavender angustifolia on the label because that's the true lavender. If it just says lavender oil with no species, that is a red flag, my friend. If it says lavandin, that's the cheaper hybrid, and it's not the same. Also, avoid anything called fragrance oil or perfume oil because those are synthetic and do nothing therapeutically. I know some of us don't like to deal with diffusers or making your own pillow spray, so instead, you can use lavender incense sticks. It's simple. You just light it, let it burn for 20 minutes or so before bed, and your room has that scent without any setup. Just avoid the super cheap synthetic ones because those don't really do anything. One more thing. If lavender genuinely doesn't work for you, even after trying the real stuff consistently, you're not broken. Some bodies just respond better to other things. Cedarwood and vetiver are great for shutting down a busy brain. An experienced aromatherapist said that sometimes lavender doesn't even work for her, so instead she blends it with other oils. Therefore, treat it like a ritual, be consistent, and most importantly, make sure you get the real stuff. Try it for 2 weeks. Same time every night and see what happens.